Do you have any reaction, Gerry, after you've been cleared of the murder of David Byrne? Do you have any reaction, Gerry?
Breaking: one of Ireland's most notorious criminals, Gerry the Monk Hutch, is again making headlines. Reports suggest that he may return to prison, but the reasons behind it remain unclear. With a long history of involvement in organized crime, Hutch's potential return to prison is sure to stir up discussion and speculation. What's going on? Let's find out in this video. Here we begin. A dramatic turn of events recently saw a 58-year-old man arrested at Wheatfield Prison and transported to a Garda station in Dublin. The man in question is Gerry Hutch, a free man recently acquitted of the murder of David Byrne. However, it seems that his release came at a price. Hutch must return to Wheatfield Prison if he ever wants to retrieve his personal belongings, which include clothes, books, jewelry, and a hefty sum of money. He was believed to be taken into custody on suspicion of leading a criminal gang. It's a delicate situation, as only Hutch himself can claim his possessions by visiting the prison in person and signing off on their release. Sources have revealed that despite ongoing threats to his life from the Kinahans, Hutch may have already fled the country and is not expected to retrieve his belongings anytime soon. Among the items in question are a significant sum of money and various pieces of jewelry which were kept in a secure safe during Hutch's time in custody on a restricted landing. Prison authorities are obligated to hold on to these items until Hutch claims them, and they cannot be utilized for other purposes. While the situation may seem uncertain, the prison must abide by these regulations and ensure the safety of Hutch's possessions until he reclaims them. What is the reason behind? The infamous gangster known as the Monk made headlines when he was flown into Dublin's Wheatfield prison on a military plane after being extradited from Spain. Following his arrest on a European arrest warrant, he was charged with the murder of Kinahan cartel associate David Byrne on September 27, 2021. After a lengthy and dramatic trial in front of the non-jury Special Criminal Court, Hutch was surprisingly acquitted of the murder charge, much to the shock of the public. The trial was just a part of a larger investigation by the Gardaí, as revealed by Irish Sun reporter Michael Doyle on the Pat Kenny Show this morning. The Monk's dramatic story has been closely followed by many, as his criminal activities have been well documented in the media. Irish authorities have confirmed that a wider investigation into organized crime is ongoing, although it is not currently expected to result in charges. The investigation is connected to the Regency gun attack and the subsequent gangland feud that has been raging for years. We don't believe, certainly at this point, that any charges will arise about this, but it is part of a wider investigation by Gardaí into organized crime, which goes back, I guess, to the Regency gun attack and the long-running gangland feud, which erupted off the back of that, he said. In a shocking turn of events, the Monk is set to stand trial next week for the murder of David Byrne at the Regency Hotel in 2016. Despite being acquitted of the same charge in a previous trial, he now finds himself facing serious charges again in court. Meanwhile, Gardaí are keeping a close watch on Hutch's home in the suburbs of Dublin amid fears that he and his associates may be targeted by a female member of the Kinahan cartel. The ongoing feud has claimed numerous victims, and the authorities are working tirelessly to prevent further violence. The streets are buzzing with an increase in Garda presence surrounding the Clontarf area and the Monk's luxurious abode in the paddocks. Sources say that there has been suspicion that Hutch stayed in his home on Monday night. However, fresh off his dramatic acquittal of the David Byrne murder charge in the criminal courts of justice, he's expected to swiftly exit the country in the coming days. According to insiders, the Gardaí are deeply concerned about a potential outbreak of violence in the aftermath of Hutch's acquittal. And as we said a while ago, of particular worry is a ruthless female member of the Kinahan gang who has already ordered the cold-blooded killing of many innocent men who had no involvement in the feud. As a result, the streets are alive with whispers and rumors of what might happen next. According to a senior source, the woman in question has been compared to Robert De Niro's character in the film Goodfellas, where he played Jimmy Conway and was involved in a series of murders. The source revealed that the woman was believed to have initiated the conflict and was suspected of ordering several killings. The source likened her to De Niro's character, saying she was responsible for getting several men shot, many of whom were easy targets. The source said, this particular female individual essentially waged the feud. As a result, she is suspected of ordering a number of murders. She was like Robert De Niro in Goodfellas, getting these lads shot, and a lot of them were easy targets. The Garda's response to her actions was swift and extensive, resulting in the cartel's downfall and a significant blow to their business. However, the concern remains that the woman will seek revenge on her own, using her connections to go after her enemies. The source stated, "But the real concern is that this woman will take the law back into her own hands, go through her black book, and start going at it again. She just wants blood." The source suggested that she was only interested in vengeance and would not hesitate to take the law into her own hands. The recent verdict of no one being held accountable for the shooting of Liam Byrne's brother at the Regency Hotel over 7 years ago has left him absolutely fuming. Byrne has been identified by Dublin's High Court as a top-tier figure in organized crime in Ireland and is known for running the Irish branch of the notorious Kinahan cartel. The verdict hits him hard personally, and sources suggest that it's impossible to predict what he might do next, including the possibility of ordering attacks. Gardaí in the North Inner City, which is a stronghold of the Hutch gang, have increased their patrols as a precaution. Despite the serious nature of the situation, it seems that some people in the area were relieved by the verdict and were in a celebratory mood. On Monday, there was reportedly a party atmosphere in the area. Even though the Special Criminal Court has determined that the Hutch gang was responsible for the Regency shooting, the family and its leader, known as the Monk, remain well respected in their community. However, a stationary Garda vehicle outside Patsy Hutch's home on Champions Avenue reminds me of the other persistent threat of an ongoing feud between the Hutch and Kinahan families. This feud has resulted in numerous fatalities, including Gerry Hutch, Patsy's son, and the Monk's nephew, and a former senior member of the Kinahan cartel. Since then, several others, including taxi driver Eddie Hutch, Gareth Hutch, Derek Coakley Hutch, and the Monk's friends Noel King-Size Duggan and Noel Kerwin, have also been murdered. Despite a murder plot against him in 2018 that landed the perpetrators behind bars, the threat level against Patsy Hutch remains extremely high. Sources indicate that it has only increased following evidence of his involvement in the Regency murder trial. Although he was acquitted on Monday, Justice Tara Burns stated that there was a reasonable possibility that Hutch had planned the Regency attack and that his brother Gerard Hutch had stepped in to handle the aftermath. Miss Justice Tara Burns stated, "A reasonable possibility arises on the evidence that the Regency was planned by Patsy Hutch and that Gerard Hutch stepped in, as head of the family, to attempt to sort out the aftermath of the Regency, particularly as his own life was at risk." Hutch did not comment on the verdict, but simply made a statement by walking out of the criminal courts of justice. The ongoing danger to him and his family highlights the persistent threat of organized crime in Ireland and the challenges law enforcement agencies face in tackling it. After a brief 5-minute encounter with the media, Patsy Hutch's legal team arranged for a taxi to whisk him away. The savvy gangster is expected to leave the country with his own passport soon. Sources suggest that Hutch will likely travel to Spain, where he has spent extended periods in the past and owns the property. His wife Patricia, who was with him when he was arrested in Spain, is also expected to join him on his trip. So what do you think of the Monk being in prison again? Comment below and make sure to subscribe for more.